What is up? And welcome to another episode of the Worship Based Coffee Podcast. I'm Jay Soleil, your host. Welcome in. And if you are joining us for the first time, this is episode 12, coming in here towards the end of the year for our Christmas episodes. And I have a very special guest with me today, a fellow Texan, which I obviously love to point out, being that I am from the great state of Texas. And I have Bryce Vaughn with me today. And I know a lot of people out there obviously know who he is. The dude has, first of all, some ridiculously sick bass tone that we probably all covet, which we should not. But all kidding aside on that, seriously, his bass tone is just incredible. Love to listen to all the stuff that he puts out. And on top of it, just what I've learned from just getting to do the podcast with him, he is an incredibly genuinely kind person. Just likes to be helpful to people any way that he can. Really has a heart for the worship-based community. And so I just appreciate that a lot myself. So anyway, with that, let's just get to the episode. Hello, welcome in, Bryce.
What's
Good to have
going
you.
on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. This is welcome into the Worship Based Coffee Podcast. I'm super excited to have you on. Reached out to you a while back, and as silly as it sounds, was like, yeah, so it would be kind of cool if maybe and
Dude,
you're like, dude,
I'm
I'm in.
honored to be on here. I'm just see even like before like because you starting to get a bunch of people on there. I was like, I love stuff like this, just talking through bass, everything. That's like the reason why I do it. Not to talk, but to like just
Yeah.
talk about gear, like whether it's this or just like a dude walking down the street. I love talking about it.
That's awesome. I love that. So I'm same way. And that's what we should be doing anyway, is with our community, is encouraging and talking to each other about gear. So that's awesome. Well, to kind of kick things off, I was just curious, like what does a normal work week or a week for you look like?
It it depends. It's always music for the most part. Every once in a while, I do some like redneck jobs for my dad and run a tractor or forklift or something. But that's my other half of life. But mainly just music. Like every weekend, always at church playing a couple church things during the week at like a young adults or a random conference, and then either that or like I'll do stuff on the road with an artist named Gracie Binion. I'm her MD and bass player. So we'll go fly out, do like shows and worship nights, festivals, just whatever they want me to do. And it's even random things like I've met some of my really good friends through like we played a record for Capital City Music in Atlanta like 7 or so months ago. And that was all through social media that we got connected. And so sometimes it's doing things like that. It's kind of always changing, which I prefer. I've done, the 9 to 5 life, and I prefer the chaos of this
Yeah.
for some reason.
That's awesome. Sometimes I think it's chaos even with the 9 to 5, but
Oh, that's an extra level of chaos.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like today, like when you had messaged me, like I was in the shower because I literally just got home from work and I was like, let me shower real quick before I get down here. So, uh, so how do you, like, as far as balancing all of that with like also trying to still be creative? How do you kind of find time for your creative side along with all the busyness of that?
It's kind of like two avenues for me, I guess. Like we just did a record with Gracie 2 weeks ago. Um, and the day before we went to do her recording and the rehearsals and everything else, we were in Houston at House of Blues. So we drove down at like 9 a.m. and then I got back home in Dallas same day at like 2:30 a.m. on a Sunday. And then Monday was loading for rehearsals and then doing that for half the week. And then so I was like, I wouldn't say get burnt out, like I can sometimes, but then during that week, uh, like once I go into work mode, I'm a little weird and like I can just overly hone in on everything. Maybe it's like the ADHD or something, but I was like, cool, go time, let's do it. I don't care. Like I'm tired, but I'm just gonna ignore that. And then like in that recording, that was a huge creative space because we got to do whatever we wanted on like a lot of the songs, and I was co-producing it, so just got to like
Nice.
flesh out stuff. But sometimes when I'm home even, or like if I have like an off week, I'll definitely prioritize rest a little bit to where like I don't even
Yeah.
want to look at my bass or my board or track for anyone. Like even if it's an open week, I'll just tell someone like, hey, like I have next week for tracking songs or like open slots, and purposely just take at least well, maybe not a whole week, but a couple days at least to just like not touch music because I'll almost get inspired more from that, like just listening to music,
Good.
honestly resting my ears more than anything. Sometimes like I'll just sit down at the piano or anything and make like a dumb little song that no one will ever hear except me, but it's just for the sake of like trying stuff, and then I'll even get like ideas from that. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna save that for something one day," or I don't know, kind of
Yeah.
that world of it.
Yeah, I get that totally because I found sometimes when I like kind of put the bass down and kind of step away, not like for 2 weeks or something, but just even for a couple of days and then come back to it, it's just something fresh, like kind of reignites with that. So that's awesome. So how did you like get into music? Like what did you kind of start with?
So the the big overarching short story version is I'm a pastor's kid, and my dad was a worship pastor. Before he like quit doing that eventually later in my life and transitioned to like mechanic stuff and all that. But he's still always like that was most majority of my life till I was probably about 15 or 16. But then I was still in worship and getting to play bass on like the big boy stage and everything. So there's like a 14-year-old with like all the adults, but I'm always like an old man at heart anyways. So I was hanging out with like 20, 30 something year olds that were married all the time anyways for some reason.
Awesome.
Um, but started so I guess from the beginning I learned drums as my very first instrument. Didn't stick with that. Still barely play now, but I'm not good at all. I can just do four on the floor for an entire song, whether it calls for it or not. Keep time on, and that's about it.
Right. No
Um,
fills.
no fills, and was always around my dad. Like my dad's a freak musician of where he can like play literally anything. He's actually who taught me how to play bass.
Nice.
And then start through the years like picked up piano and a little bit of guitar and other instruments, but like bass and piano are like or keys are like my two main things. And then started doing band in high school in
Mm.
like sixth grade, something like that. So did that all the way until my senior year, till I quit that, and then did like AP music theory, and then kind of did jazz classes all at the same time. So classically like trained and traditional trained through like trumpet for that and all the jazz world. And then most of my music kind of learning came from just like watching my dad do it because like I obviously am extremely white uh and have a little bit of an accent, everything, just like rest of my family. But I grew up in an all black church, so that was my first introduction to music. Like even when we moved here, I never heard a Hillsong, like moved up to Dallas area from Houston. I mean, never heard a Hillsong, Chris Tomlin, anything like that. Like I grew
Ooh,
up on Donnie McClurkin, Fred Hammond, like the older
that's
Israel
awesome.
stuff. And so just like watching how they did that and my dad did that and just kind of like taking that and over the years just applying it to like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then yeah, we just needed a bass player one day in youth group when I was like four like four, 14, 15 range, like right before I got a car. And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I just need a like." They're like, "Yeah, we need a bass player. Does anyone play bass?" And my dad's like, "Well, I could show you how to play bass." I was like, "Of course you can." And then first song I ever played was just "Freedom" by Eddie James.
Nice.
And I had no idea what I was doing, but my dad's like, "Just play these four notes the entire time, and you're great. Like you're golden." And then just somehow like it caught me so quick, and I fell in love with it. And now I'm somehow about to turn 30 and doing this as like my full time job.
That's amazing. So once you started getting into playing the bass, did you find what were some of the like bands or that were kind of influenced you like that you were did you like, oh, this is cool now. I want to sit down and try to learn some songs. Like Well, if anything, what was that?
It was I'm like a really weird broad range of that, I guess. Like I said, like the first ones I was trying to learn was like Fred Hammond, Don McClurkin, like anything gospel world, and like watching bass players like Sheree Reed or Fred Hammond himself. He's actually a ripping bass player. Like on uh Pages of Life, I think his album was. He played on some of that, or he played on like a live version of like Let the Praise Begin. And there's one video of him just playing like this giant Ken Smith bass. It was the first time I remember like pausing a song because like, what was that? Like just started playing notes that I was like, I don't know, you could fit that into this song. Um, but like
Awesome.
in like the kind of gospel world for them, definitely that. And then even stuff like Planet Shakers when they had oh, what was it? Like the first like harder song I played live, or hard at the time, I guess, when I just never played that much stuff. Like Endless Praise had like the first things where like we were actually gonna like play them in youth, and I was like,
Okay.
okay, this is sick. Like we'll do stuff like this. I forgot their old bass player's name. I can't remember either their names. They were like a big inspiration. And then love Snarky Puppy. Used to
Oh,
religiously listen to them. Their stuff's always insane. Dirty Loops was really cool. And then even like get like I would flip over on the other side of like still kind of complex stuff, but really more tame, but just like really big on like the vibe kind of side of like Mute Math,
yeah.
Tame Impala, and even like some of Jesus Culture's old stuff. Like they
Mm.
had like a little bit more like bass forward kind of things. Well, and that was before everyone had like, you know, a million tracks in every song. So it's like the
Right.
bass wasn't buried below everything. Which is, you know,
Right.
that's my gripe with worship these days. But it was
Yeah.
like he had just like really cool parts that were very specific. I was like, oh, this is a cool way to do it. And like seeing like I would be so nerdy on like YouTube, going like finding all these old Bethel archives. I mean, then they weren't old, they were just like they got posted the week before. But it would be a guy named, I think his name is Brandon Aronson.
Hmm.
He's he plays, I think he still plays for Jesus Culture. I could be also butchering his name. Um, but he would always play like a five string, which isn't like the norm for like worship kind of stuff today. Like
Sure.
I have two other five strings that I play, but I kind of just save that for like the country gospel thing and just use
Yeah.
P-Bass. But it was cool like seeing someone else do that, and then I'd watch and he'd play like some really cool like little just runs in the middle of the songs. Like, okay, cool, I'm definitely gonna steal that. Like one of them still use to this day. I'll have to find an example of it later, but those are always been just inspirations for me.
That's amazing. Yeah, for me, like some of those earlier groups, like I'd talked in one of the other ones, DC Talk, Audio Adrenaline, like especially, Will McGinnis on playing on a jazz bass just rocked out for me. And that was just
Hmm.
like, wow, so cool. So I love that. So was there, one thing I was going to mention is you mentioned Snarky Puppy, and I can immediately in my mind, kind of the little light bulb went off, and I was like, I could really see that influence in your playing, like, especially like with some of the tones that you choose, like with the octaves and stuff like that. Michael loves to kind of do some of those like dub kind of tones. And
Oh
so,
yeah, he was a huge inspiration. Like I remember seeing like I used to post cover songs before I like started doing like the Instagram stuff I have now. I remember posting one of those. I can't remember what song. Maybe it was like Lingus or something, but on one of
okay.
them he just had like a super sick thing, and I did a cover of that one. I'll have to find that one day. But he's why I have the MXR bass octave, that blue
Yeah.
one, because I'd
Mm.
never seen anyone really use that. And then I just remember typing in Michael League pedalboard on YouTube, and he did like a video with reverb or something like that. And he had that on there and he played through it. I was like, oh, I have to get that. Like that sounds so sick. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to use it in worship. Now it's like a staple for me. Like I'll never take it off the board.
Yeah. I love how you do that though. Like, I think a lot of times for a lot of worship musicians, like they get a pedal, they love it, but they don't necessarily know how or when to use it. And so that's one of the things that I think that you have done that's been kind of like that inspiration is like in your live Sunday morning playing, like at times using some of those, and it's like, oh, cool, that's how I can use it, you know?
Mhm.
So I love that. Uh, so I was just curious, like, as far as say a Sunday morning, do y'all use Planning Center?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much
So,
anything I do or church world-wise, they always have, like, a planning center set up. Like, the
okay.
only times I think I don't use it is when we do stuff for artists, and then they'll just send us, like, a list, or if I'm the MD, I'll send a list because 'cause I'm like, "Guys, I'm not registering all of you on some planning center account. I'm just gonna text you set list, look
Right.
up the
Yeah.
song, deal with it."
Yeah, a couple of the artists that I play for here, they'll end up just sending like a Spotify account, I mean a playlist, you know, and be like,
Right.
here they are. And if a key is different, they'll just let us know ahead of time. But I was just curious, like, and because I this is something I've been asking a lot of people, is like how you on a Sunday, is it that a lot of the songs are kind of rotated enough through that you've kind of learned them, or is it like when you get that planning center thing and you're looking and you're seeing the songs that you're going to do, like how do you prepare for like a typical Sunday?
Yeah, if it's ones we've already played before, or I listened to it once and it's just like, "Oh, well, this is the same progression the entire time," then I won't. Truthfully, I really don't, unless like a song's more complex, which unless we're doing like shows or like a special like
Mhm.
Christmas jazz or gospel thing, I don't really sit down with the songs that much. Like I'll listen to them a lot or listen while I drive, and that's kind of how like it'll get in my head. Like one thing my dad always used to say, like it just sticks with me, is like you get it in here and then you get it in here, and just like listen
Yeah.
over and over because that's how you get comfortable with it. I mean, it's like it's how you remember like all your favorite songs growing up and you know them like word for word, or even like the music for it. It's just like you've heard it so many times. It's just like second nature. It's that kind of thing. But if it is a harder song, let me pull up an example. Like I'll
Okay.
always, literally the only reason I uh chart or bought an iPad, I mean, was just like there's zero games on it. Like I really am an old man with a lot of things. Like no games, no movies, nothing on it. I bought it just so I could have the pencil and for charts of keeping stuff. Just
Nice.
because, especially with songs in worship world being so similar a lot of the times, because like there is a
Mhm.
definite like system today of like kind of how they're
Sure.
made,
Hmm.
that I'll, if I don't like really make myself remember what song it is, I will accidentally play a different song. Just because I'm like
I know.
I'll daydream middle of the song and I was like, I don't know if I'm playing the right song right now. But I'll write it down on a chart and I'll just do the number system and have like bars. I don't know if it'll show this,
Okay. Yeah.
but
I can see that.
I think it's backwards for some reason. But
Oh, it'll
I'll
be
definitely just break
down.
up the. Okay, sick. I'll go through the sections with that and like write it down, and then sometimes if it's like more complex stuff, I'll put little notes or like, hey, there's a stab here. Hey, this is like a and a three pickup note, or just little things like that. If I'm like I might not remember this live, and sometimes I'll just kind of have it on my phone, or even honestly, I don't even have it on my phone most time unless it's like last second brand new song. And I don't
Right.
have time to like actually sit and learn it. I'll just chart it once and then look at it if I have to. But even by writing it down, that makes me memorize it usually.
Okay. So on a Sunday, for a Sunday set, you know, sometimes um do y'all do like a rehearsal night, or do you just show up on Sunday early, run through everything, and then do the services?
Yeah, we just show up on Sunday, and then for like maybe an hour, if that. Like honestly, it's usually like 30, 40 minutes tops. We'll just
Yeah.
hit all the songs once. And if it's like a really familiar song, like we won't even do the whole song. And
Nice.
then
Just
like an hour
the
or so
thing.
break, and then yeah, we'll do the services for the day.
I was just curious, like, is you know, because some of the like songs that y'all have like posted, you've done different little like hits or walk ups, or do you is that something that you guys like maybe during the week talk about, like, oh hey, this is sick, what if we did this, or
Yeah, it's both. Because sometimes like Me and both drummers I mainly play with are my friends Ish and Ezra.
Okay.
And when me and Ish were at the same campus, we did it a lot where, I mean, we're really close friends, so we just call each other anyways, but we would call each other on the way to rehearsals half the time and sometimes like flesh out an idea like, hey, I might want to do this, help me remember this. But 90 to 95% of it is just like in the moment. Like
Nice.
we'll just one of us will just get an idea or we'll play like someone will just start playing the idea and not really say anything and we'll just play off of each other in that moment.
Nice.
So which is super fun and obviously you have to have a lot of chemistry to do it. But it's just we've all played together for so long and we all hang out all the time too, so it's like there's just that mutual trust going on.
Was always curious about that, like, because we kind of do that too on Sundays, and it, like you said, it does help when you have that chemistry with people, playing with some of the people the same, where you can kind of, in those moments, they can call out stuff and do some different hits and stuff like that, because
Mhm.
it's really cool. I love it. I like the creativity. That's, we try to do stuff like that on Sunday mornings, and sometimes to a detriment, whether it be trying to throw in that little jazz lick, the kind of thing in there
Yeah.
somewhere. Just anything that we can think
Yeah,
of
just throwing
to
some fun in there.
yeah, just to have some fun. So that's awesome. So like, when you're uh obviously you're saying that you're listening to, that's really your main like preparation. Is there like does your tone pretty much stay the same for, you have your, like, your standard tone, or do you sometimes go, okay, well, for this song maybe I want a little bit more of this or this, like, as far as just in your mind, like dialing in for specific songs?
Um, it pretty much stays the same. Like I have like what I know like what a bass line kind of like tone thing will be for me with like my drives because I also set it up that way so it's like my always on drive that DCX like it's not gonna really make or break anything and it won't be like an
Mhm.
unbearing drive no matter what. Um, but if it's songs like Christmas stuff, then halftime I'll like turn off a drive, especially if I'm doing like kind of like fake upright jazz bass, kind of like walking lines. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm just thinking of Christmas because services are about to
Or,
start.
yeah,
Um,
same for
but
us.
things like that. And then if I just know there's like a specific part of the song I'm gonna want like octaves on, I won't ever really change stuff that much unless it's just in the moment. Like if I'm using like a fake sub bass kind of sound, if I'm not using the Moog, I'll either use like the HX Stomp kind of patch I have made for it, or even with the MXR on certain songs. Like if I know I'm gonna like want to use it on that, I'll just turn the dry like way down. Um, and I'll kind of think ahead, but honestly, it's like once I get there, like I know the songs, I'm like, okay, I kind of want
Right.
to do this, and then sometimes I won't turn on any pedals for a song. It's just it's weirdly in the moment of what I'm wanting to do.
Nice. Well, continuing with the preparation thing, does your preparation change then between, say, when you're playing for an artist versus, say, like a worship night?
Yeah, I would say I prepare a little bit more for the artist stuff because it's not. I wouldn't say it's new songs, but it's definitely more intricate songs where it's not like the kind of blanket. Hey, it's gonna sound like worship music
Right.
anyways.
True.
Like some of the songs
Hmm.
I've been posting and everything, they're a lot more like up or a lot more rock or I'm diving in and out. Like when we travel, I don't ever really backline a sub bass like a Moog or anything. Just because I'm already in MD land and running computer and like jumping in and out of tracks. I'm like, it's one more thing I don't want to
Yeah.
deal with, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, and so for there, like maybe I'll run the song if it's newer songs that we get for Gracie or someone else that's like out of the not really the worship world. It's like more of the pop stuff. Sometimes I'll like play along with the thing and make sure I'm like, okay, I know when to like turn on this pedal or
Right.
not. Then I'll do it like once, but besides that, I won't do anything like insane preparation
Yeah.
wise. That's just hopefully it's not lazy, but that's just kind of like how I mentally do it these days because I'm
Yeah.
so used to like my pedal board, I've had this set up for so long, even though it's like a new arrangement of it. I'm just so used to where everything is. I don't really have to think too far in advance of like what I'm wanting to turn on and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, speaking of that, if you don't mind kind of walking us through what your pedal board is, that would be cool. Just what the signal chain is.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the Polytune, the smaller black one. I like it. It's just really easy to see. My eyesight, even though I wear contacts all the time, is terrible. Pretty sure I'm
Same.
kind of night blind. So that's a fun part of life now. But it's just easy to read in the dark no matter what. Then I'm going from there to my the Cali compressor, the bass version, and then I go to my octaves. So the MXR bass octave and the micro synth. Because a lot of people always ask, are like, where should I put the octaves? In my mind, you always want something that's tracking like as far up the
Mhm.
chain as possible, because you just don't want anything to not track.
Yeah.
And from there, I'm going to my drives, which are the DCX and the Kilt. But the Kilt is run into the HX Stomp actually, just so I can have it blended and not really lose any low end for it. And then HX
Nice.
Stomp, then the what is this pedal called? The color box.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Yeah.
a I don't know if I really need the color box, honestly. Like I don't really drive the pedal even or do
Right.
any EQ. I don't really like the EQ on it. I don't know why. Every time I want it to like do a specific EQ cut, like I always do on like front of house or back of house consoles, it does not do what I want. I don't know if like the bell curve is too narrow or what. I don't
Oh,
like it.
okay.
Um but it does sound good for like the preamp side because it has like the dual 1073s in it. So I love that Neve
Yes.
sound
I
for it.
know.
And then the Noble
Nice.
and
Tried and true.
just tried and true. I love that thing. I've had it since before it was cool. I'll say that
Me too.
before they got ungodly. See, it's just two
Yeah.
mustaches, two great bass players,
That,
just having the cool stuff before everyone got it. Dude, now when people
uh,
were like, "Oh, should I buy one?" I was like, I mean, I don't even think it's that. I think it's needed for me because I love it that much, but I don't think like every bass player has to have one to like sound good at
sure.
all.
Yeah.
And they're so expensive now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I got mine, I think it was 2015 when I got mine, so it hadn't even broke 1,000 yet. So it was definitely pre pre but understandably so. I mean, Jack does it all himself in his
Just
garage, you know.
just one guy, which is
Yeah,
insane.
it is, especially to think that he builds 2 per week is what he told me. Uh, he said what he does is he builds 2 per week. So then that way he can, when he gets to the end and he's testing everything, he has two to the both of them to compare each other to.
Mhm.
So it's pretty amazing. But I think it's the best clean DI out there. Like as far if you
Oh,
just
I
want,
agree, especially with all like just the harmonic saturation you can get from the
yeah.
tubes, which I don't know about you, I
Mhm.
still have not changed my tubes.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, in fact, I think when I went to buy mine, I even said something to him like, "Hey, can I buy an extra set of tubes?" And he goes, "I mean, you can, but I don't think you'll need them." He goes, "Those tubes will last you forever." He's like, "They're because they're just like, they're not like with an SVT where they're the in the power section, it's just in the pre section, so it doesn't quite, you know." But yeah, I've had zero issues. I think one time, uh, like they have these like the little LED bars that lights up the beautiful little Noble thing
Mhm.
there. We had been playing on the road, and of course my pedal board, it was in a hard case, but got tossed around a little bit, and all of a sudden I noticed it wasn't lit up anymore. I was like, oh no, what happened? It was still playing fine, no issues. And so I emailed him and he goes, yeah, just send it to me, I'll fix it. So I sent it to him, and like within a week he sent it back. He's like, yeah, all it was is just the LED bar had come loose. He's like, no problem. I was like, nice.
Dang, what a great dude.
So great customer service too.
I know he's the best.
Also, I also have the color box on mine. I love every time I can play through something that's a 1073. It just there's just something, especially like if you play on your bass and you play up a little bit higher on the neck
Hmm.
and you play just some clean notes, man, it just I don't know what it is. There's these like almost like can't think of how to exactly put it, but it's like Motownish kind of vibes that kind of you get from it. It's just very vintage sounding,
Yeah.
and love it. It's awesome. So, moving on to your basses, what are your some of the basses that you have? I know about I personally, but share with the people out there.
So my workhorse right now that I pretty much use on like 98% of stuff is my Nash PB57. Um, and then the other basses I have, like the one I used the most before I got that is a Stingray 5 HH. I think I
Oh,
got that in
nice.
like 2013 or 2012. Um, it's like this super pretty, like looks like it's a really really redneck way to say this, but looks like really nice like bass boat finish. It's like real
Oh,
sparkly and
I love it.
everything.
Heck
And
yeah.
then I have that. I just got this bass sent to me from Sadowski. It's like a really cool PJ setup. Uh, and so I was
Nice.
sick that they just sent it out. But it's real. I need to get it set up just because I think in transit the action got kind of messed up on it.
Okay.
But I've already made a little song with it, played with it some, and it feels really good out of the box. And it's cool because
Nice.
it's the active and passive. Like I prefer passive stuff these days, just because I don't want to think of a battery. But the Stingray and that one are active, but that one has like a push pull knob where it could be passive too. And it's cool just being able to have like the jazz and P-bass
Yeah.
feel of it. And then the other one I have is from TMG. It's their
O
5 string like jazz bass, and I just had them spec it out kind of like a like classic like bigger Fender jazz
okay.
deluxe kind of style bass, but in passive.
Okay,
And
nice.
so that one's really fun. I don't use that one as much just because, like I said, I kind of save it for like the country gospel kind of thing.
Sure.
Um, and I don't know, something about a P bass just like has me in a chokehold now.
Yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
fits everything so well,
Yep.
and it'll just kind of always be the go-to for me, I think. And
Yeah.
the only other one, I don't even think I have it here. I think it's at my parents' house somewhere. It's a Ibanez Sound Gear five
Oh,
string.
nice.
Yeah, it was like my first like big boy bass that I got.
That's awesome.
Um, and that one eventually, because my uncle that passed gave me that bass.
Oh,
So
that's
it's always like been real sentimental to me.
yeah.
And so like I'm planning on getting that one from my parents' house again and like putting some new pickups on and everything, even if I don't ever really play it
Yeah.
that much, just to have it. But that one was always fun. That got me really into the 5 string world. I mean, honestly, for like a cheaper bass, it still sounded really good.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the only one I definitely don't know where this bass is. Maybe somewhere deep in my parents' like closet or anything. It's like I think the bass is called a Dean or
Okay,
something.
yeah.
It's like maybe it's a Guitar Center brand. I can't remember. But this just like I don't even remember
I
if it was like a jazz bass or a P bass, but I think it was a P bass. I think it only had 2 knobs. But it was just this old bass that we
nice.
got when I first started playing more. But that's all the little bass family I got.
So was the Ibanez your that was your official first, uh, you said your big boy big boy bass. Did you have what was the first bass that you actually started learning on? Was
Is that Dean bass?
Oh, okay.
But I
Nice.
guess the technical first original one, my dad had some like broken PV bass.
Nice.
It's somewhere at their house too. And we put some new strings on it. I don't even think it worked really. Like it kind of works, but like if you just put the volume knob the right way or something, one of those. And I think
Crackles.
I would learn stuff on that. And then my dad being a musician, he's like, okay, we're gonna go get you a new bass. And then so we got the Dean one, then eventually played that, and then got the Ibanez, and then moved from the Ibanez to the Stingray, and then got all the other ones in the last couple years.
Nice. The one question I was going to ask your opinion on the Nash, it's got that the gold pick guard.
Hmm.
I've always been told that with the way that the sound kind of bounces off of it, that it kind of gives a little bit more I want to say like highs or mids. Do you find that like playing it versus other basses that you can tell a difference like with your overdrives and stuff like that and the way that it sounds?
I'm honestly not sure. I've never even heard of that before,
Really?
to be so honest. I mean, I've played like my old roommate. I borrowed his P-Bass once when I think my Nash was getting worked on because I
Okay.
stuck it in a ceiling fan on accident. True story. So I was
Nice.
having my bass tech fix that. And so I used his, but it was hard to say because it was like some old, like a little bit cheaper Fender bass. It sounded
Okay.
really good still, but it's also different pickups, different brand,
Sure.
different kind of everything. And so it was way hotter of a bass output wise and way
Mm.
like I wouldn't say clearer. Maybe it's just like more modern pickups, but
Okay.
that's not. I don't really like modern sound. All my stuff is based off vintage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the most high end I had ever heard, like from a P bass before. Like it sounded like a jazz bass almost. And I was like, oh, this is different, but it was like I definitely had to like redo pedal stuff some because I was like,
Right.
oh, this is like unbearable high end.
Right. Well, I think it was I was in a shop and I was kind of debating, this is years ago, like, should I put a regular pit guard or put the, adenized or however you say it on their pit guard? And he was like, well, he goes, one thing to think about is he was saying because of the differences in material, he said the like say a tortoise shell
Hmm.
one is like a plastic and where the adenized is like a metal. He said when you hit that note, even though the pickups are when you're striking the string, the pickups are the ones that are picking up the sound. There's something about how it like somehow bounces some sound off of that pick guard, and because of it being metal it can give like some different tones.
Hmm.
So I always wondered that, if you had noticed it, but I guess it's probably those people that are like, oh, I can hear that the third uh tube is out on your amp, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, now I'm gonna look into it. I'm interested in that, but I'm also like a weird kind of person of like even I think it's cool to have custom bases built and all that, but like the Nash I bought even wasn't I didn't order it from Nash. I got it from a guy off Facebook like years ago. Um, and I remember that was the most money I've ever spent on anything. Um, and when I had like I kind of like bases having like I'm not opposed to upgrading stuff on bases, but I think there's something cool about keeping all the original stuff on the bass when you get it to an extent, unless like you just have trash pickups on it where it's like going out or they're just not
Mhm.
good at all. There's something cool. It's kind of like vehicles in my
Yeah.
mind too. It's like it's cool to have
Mm.
its original like everything little thing makes each one like a little different. And
Yeah.
so even if it's like not the color I want, it's like that's cool because that's this bass.
Yeah. I love that. And those, I think it's standard that all of them come with Lawlers in them, don't they?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Probably like the Lawler 60s or whatever that are,
Right.
love that. Uh we went through your pedal board. You also have you've created patches for the HX Stomp, Quad Cortex, Dark Glass Anagram, Podgo, and have even for the Moog. Uh, what what inspired you to do that?
Dude, that's a funny one. It was I guess I started doing that like 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was around that time, and I'd never once thought of like doing that, especially as like a job, kind of, because that's what it is now. It's
Yeah,
like another main job for me. Um, and I just started post like that's kind of right when social media stuff started taking off a little bit more and all that, and get more followers. And it was weird because people were like, "Hey, like, would you ever make presets for this? Like, I'll buy them." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "I never even thought about that." I was like, "I guess I need to, like, do that," or started figuring out how to do it, got into, like, looking into, like, how to do stuff for websites for it and, like or just how to even, like, build all that out, and basically just anything I've done, it's always been because, like, sometimes I'll have an idea, but most times because someone asked for it. Because like, I never got into music or any of this for, like, "Oh, how can I sell this?" It's just
Sure.
people asked for it, and it's like, "Okay, cool, like, this is a way I can do this and make it cheap enough in my mind so, like, they can have, like, a starting point at least. They can either use all my stuff, not use it all, like, if they want it, that's great."
Yeah.
And just, like, kinda get into that world for it. And, like, a lot of it I've had to figure out, but even with, like, the Tone X and the Quad Cortex, like, 2 people that have definitely, like just a shout out to them, helped me so much, Tone Shepherd and, what's the other one everyone uses? Oh my gosh. Kenyon Reed does it.
Yeah.
Um,
I know what you're
Tone
talking about.
Factor.
Yes, Tim. Yeah.
Um, yeah, all those guys have definitely, like, really helped me, and they've been super nice, and just, like, offering free help with all of that, and so it's like, I've always
Amazing.
tried to, like, do that same thing, like, I'm never like, growing up, I was really used to guys in, like, the worship world that we would look up to, especially, like, guitar world, because I feel like bass pedals have come a really long way in a short
Yeah.
time, like, recently,
Mhm.
'cause, I don't know about you, but, like, for youth group and all that stuff, yeah, there was kinda bass pedals, but it wasn't, like, a thing. And so I
Right.
was getting all my inspiration from, like, guitar guys and seeing how I could apply it to bass eventually. And now it's a new world, but a lot of the times, like, I won't name who it is, but there was definitely a couple of guitar guys that were very, like, would never show you their board, wouldn't tell you how to their
Yeah.
settings. It was very like, "This is my secret and everything." I'm the most I mean, if you wanna do that, that's great. That's you and your convictions and all of that and your ego. But I have always been like, anytime I post or do something or show people how I do it, if I have the time to help, I want whether it's like a kid getting into it or half the time it's someone that's like the same age as my dad. Like, I want to show
Sure.
them, like, hey, take what I've already learned for all these years, take it and be way better than me. Like, launch off of me, like, pass
Right.
me up. Like, we're not in a competition, like, I
Yeah.
don't view like, if someone else gets, like, a gig before me or instead of me or get used on something, like, I'm the always try to, like, kill that flesh side of me and, like, be the biggest supporter of someone else for it, of, like,
Love
"Take
that.
this, run with it, do your thing with it, and however I can help, like, go for it."
That's amazing. I love that. That's actually how the Noble was created. I don't know if
Really?
you know the story, but essentially what happened is Jack was when he first started, he was building guitar amps. And he said the same thing about some of the guitarists. He said, I had a friend of mine that was like super supportive. He was a guitarist and he was like, let me bring you down to some of these shows that are playing, bring your amp down. And a lot of the guitarists were very like, I'm good with like my setup. I
Mhm.
kind of like my setup. I don't want to. And then another guy said, "Man, you should make something for bass players." And he said the bass players were the complete opposite. He said I would show up with that, and they were like, "What do you got there? I want to use that," And he
Yeah.
said, and it just he said, so I started learning. I was like, all of a sudden, this bass community, they're like super great. Everybody's like super supportive of each other. It's just like, and he said, next thing you know, boom, it blew up, and he was just like, oh, this. So it's kind of in that same, you know, aspects of as far as what you did, uh, kind of the same thing. So that's cool. That's awesome. Uh, moving on here, let's see. Talk about we've talked a little bit about your tone. Like, talk about what is it specific that like you love about the tone that you get with your bass.
Um, that at the end of the day, outside of, like, a micro synth or an octave, like a weird effect, it's always gonna sound like my bass or still sound like a bass. But even my stuff, it just I feel like I have a very specific sound that's a little
Hmm.
different. Um, and like I like going against the grain and like minus the micro synth. Everyone has a micro synth because
Yeah.
it's sick.
Yes.
Um, and like shout out to like everyone else, I never knew it existed besides from Bethel. Like I think Starlight, the song from Bethel, was the first time I had heard it used on something, and I was like, "What was that?" It's
Yeah.
just massive. Because
I know.
we did a clinic recently, and someone's like, the worship pastor came up. He's like, "Yeah, like, dude, you put microsynth on the map or whatever." I was like, "I did not." I was like, "Do not tell people that,
Yeah.
please." Like, I did not. I will never claim that in a million years. Um,
Uh,
but it's just that I've always liked being able to have like a really signature kind of sound. Maybe most of that might even be equated to playing style because I was super anti pedal board for years. Because I had a lot of friends that used them, and God bless them, but it just did not sound good. It was like only fuzz stuff and everything else, and it was just like so distorted you couldn't even tell what the notes were and all that, which I was like, maybe that's cool for like other stuff. But for me, I was like, this doesn't sound good, especially because like I'm coming from a way different world of like I didn't
right.
grow up on like pop punk, everything else like they did. Used to like gospel land and everything's very pure sounding for the basses. There's not really anything besides like compression and EQ.
Mm,
And slowly got into pedals, but even then, like I'm still wanting it to sound like its own thing and sound as clear as possible, but sound clear while having like a little bit of effects on it and everything. I keep showing my hands and it's not even in the frame for some reason. Uh, but doing like that kind of approach of like, and just having low end, because now there's bass pedals and like tricks and everything to have low end, but for a long time, like Dark Glass was the only
Yeah.
bass pedal maker that was like, oh, you actually have low end in your pedals. Like even like this was like my first bigger drive that I had, the
Yeah, that's
Alpha
right.
Omega. And I still love it. I just eventually got kind of tired of like really colored tone.
Mm.
Because with all the dark glass stuff, even if you blend it, it just still has like their sound, which is cool. Like I love their sound,
Yeah,
but it just has a specific color
sure.
to it, and I wanted to get like a little bit away from that. And now
Yeah.
that's what I even get questioned on. They're like what amps are you running through? How do you like what's all this stuff? And I was like, well, I'm not running amps or IRs or anything. It's just all going through drives and then a DI out, and then that's it.
Yeah. I love that. One of the things that definitely stood out to me was definitely the drives that you use on your bass. Like even like you said, the always on tone has that little bit of crispiness on it, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is like how much that can help with the bass sitting in the mix, especially like you were saying earlier about with the 20 stems on the track, like, and, four sub basses and all this,
Hmm.
there's like for you to be competing with everything in that, like having those, uh, like I think the best way that like some of the Bethel guys talked about it is like if you can take your phone and you can hear your bass through the phone, then that means that you have that your tone is good,
Hmm.
because then a front of house can take it and mix in the subs, and then it's going to sit better in the mix. So
Right.
that's one of the things I love about your tone. Definitely is those drive towns. That's one of the things that has inspired me. So I love that. Uh, One of the things I wanted to ask you about too is you were talking about a desire to just kind of help people. Talk about Backline Resources and how that
Oh yeah,
came out.
that came as an idea from me and Ish. Like we just kind of would talk about it in passing, like since we met a little bit of like, oh, what if we like showed people how we do this, and like kind of the same thing. We got asked so much, how do you do this or this? I was like, okay, this is hard to answer. And like, let me DM you back on Instagram. Like, what
Right.
if we did some classes and showed it, let people ask questions and then like demonstrate real time, like what we did in a section of a song, and then we could press pause, explain it. And it was a couple years, and then we both got two different, not to scare anyone out there, but we both got like one or two different like prophetic words each, about of like starting a company and doing all this. And we're like, okay, well, we've never really told anyone about this, so like this is pretty clear to do it now. And it just kind of like took off pretty well to where just able to go do clinics and teachings, and just like Ish has the same feeling for me as it of like showing people how we do what we do, or like how to apply it to them, and like show them like, hey, this is a possibility. You don't have to do the like, oh, I saw, like, even for me, like I don't ever want people to like see my stuff and be like, I have to do it the way Bryce does it now. Like I was like, cool, yeah, be inspired by it, but do your thing for it. Like put your
St-
DNA of music playing on it, and like
yeah,
your feel. And because that's what makes music great around everything. Like everyone has something different. Like even the Bethel guys, like Adam, or forgetting so many names that I always remember. But any of the guys that did stuff with them, like they have their specific sound and like pedals they use. Like they love tone hammer stuff. I'm weird. I don't like. I think other people sound great through a tone hammer. Anytime I use one, I just don't like it, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm broken. But that's why like I got the Alpha Omega or the DCX. It's like no one else was really using that at the time. And so I was like,
yeah,
okay, maybe I'm gonna be weird and just different and not buy the same thing. But it's also a cop out because I have the Microsoft. But it's like let me make it my own thing and then learn why it's different. And like they all pioneer their own thing and they sound incredible for doing it, but I don't want to like completely replicate what their thing is. Like I
sure,
want to sit with it. I was like, okay, what do I like about it, not like about it? How can I apply it to my thing?
right,
And it's even just how you set it up. Like I used someone's rig once that I was just filling in and I couldn't bring any of my stuff, and I was like playing for like a random youth night, and I used all their stuff, and it just was set up the same exact way, same pedals, same bass. And if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. But it I did not like how it felt or or anything, or sounded, I mean. And that's when it was like a light like clicked. I was like, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter if you buy all the same stuff to an extent. Like
right,
you definitely need to have your own thing for it and like set it up and like because like obviously yeah, basses or guitars are a dead piece of wood, but even in that like every cut's different. It's
yeah,
different shades of the wood. It's all these like little things that give it a very
mm,
specific sound. That yeah, I'm sure in like a worship song you're not gonna always hear the difference, but
right.
to me it's like you're going to hear the difference and that's going to change how you play, do everything. So it's important to kind of like hone in on that side of it.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that can inspire you too, just with your playing. I kind of feel like everybody, at least this is how it is for me. Like you have a sound and it's in your head,
Uh-huh.
and like you're chasing after that sound. And when you do find it, you're like, that's it. That's the sound I've been.
Yeah.
And but that's what's great is, because like I do have a tone hammer on my board, and and I absolutely love it. I mean, love it. And it's just but that's what's cool about the differences, and we should all embrace our differences,
Right.
that in different likes, I mean, it's the same as our dating life, dating, everybody's going to have different, like what attracts you to a girl is going to be different, so the same thing with pedals, what
Yeah.
attracts you to them, right?
I
uh
such a great example. I love it.
Also, one of the things I had to point out, I don't know that, and it's maybe you would say that's just me being an 80-year-old guy again, but I love the fact that you hold your bass up high. I love
Oh
that.
dude, I wear that thing like a sports bra, dude. I don't know if I can have that said on here, but that thing is high and tight on me. It's I think partially that's some of my dad's influence because that's how he would play bass.
Yeah.
But then I just like I said, I never grew up playing like the pop punk kind of thing where like the bass is hanging way
Right.
down low. I'm like, one, I was like, how is that comfortable? I am just an old man in that, but I was like, that's naturally where it's so comfortable for me to play in. And
Yeah.
especially when you're having to like play songs or playing like real fast, quick stuff, it's
Yes.
just how I feel comfortable doing it.
I love it because I am definitely a higher player too. I like that. I've tried to, rock it down, and then I feel like my wrist is gonna fall off. I'm like, I can't do that,
Yeah.
and I remember, Scott from Scott's bass lessons was like, how you should be wearing your bass is sit in a chair and put your strap and then stand up, and that's how where your bass should stay, is it whatever position you're, because he said if you're going to be rehearsing, most of the time you're going to be rehearsing sitting down. And
Mhm.
so to then get up and stand up and have your bass down to your knees, now you've totally thrown your body off from like what it's used to playing and practicing with.
Interesting, yeah. That's
So
what's weird,
he's
like, even when I'm sitting down at home he's also another huge inspiration, like, when people ask me, like, "How do you do stuff?" or, like, "What's a quick way to learn?" I was like, "Just go watch his stuff." 'Cause, like, I
yeah,
don't have that much time to teach these days, but I was like, "Go," like, that is the best resource
I
ever
know.
to and so much free stuff, but because when I track songs at home and everything, I don't stand up and play or ever, I'm just sitting in this chair I'm in right
Yeah,
now, um, but when I sit down and play for a long time, that's, like, uncomfortable for me. Once I stand up, that's where it feels better, so maybe
sure.
I'm just breaking a rule or I'm, like, built really weird, which is probably more the case, but that's where I kinda do that.
That's awesome. Well, we're coming to a close here, but one of the things I wanted to ask you, what's one piece of advice you would give to somebody? And I say young, and I'm trying to get my hands in the picture there too. Say young, but I could say young to the bass. So I've
Mhm.
had some people message me, and they're older people even than I am, and are new to the bass. So what is something like advice wise to somebody who's just starting out playing worship that you would give them?
That's, like, a fantastic question. Um, that's such a big question too. I get
I know.
never there's, like, kind of like a two-parter of it. I would
Okay.
say, like, fall in love with music and with playing regardless of if you think it's gonna be a job or not. Because that's what everyone always asks me of, or like, how do I get hired at a church, or how do I make money from playing at church, or like playing out and everything? It's mostly church. Usually people don't fully want to do the tour thing. Some do,
Mhm.
but they're always asking about that. And you have to be in love with music just for the sake of it, not for chasing like a check or doing any of these other things, especially with church. Because if you're doing church, especially just for the money and everything, or even just working for a church, like I tell everyone, unless you feel extremely called to like start getting paid from church, or like that being kind of like in your world of like this is a job, it gets really tricky really quick. And it will
Mhm.
also nothing will like test your relationship with like God and the church itself more than like
Yeah.
doing that as like you start looking at it as a job, but also battling like, no, I'm serving, I'm also compensated. It's like
Right.
I would prefer like people if they truly love it. Like, yes, also it depends like the caliber of the church, everything, if they can't even pay
Sure.
you. But like even me, like I one day want to go back to only volunteer stuff
Yeah.
and only do it to where it's like I'm not even thinking of that half of it and just like I mean, I guess the even better answer is like keep your love for like God above the entire thing of like constantly checking yourself. I mean, I do it every day. I'm like, let me not think of like, oh, this is a job, I have to do it. It's like let me get in a place where it's like none of that matters. I'm like, I'm doing this for like my love of God and like the gifts he's given me and all my friends, and like let this be just like outward worship instead of just sitting of like, oh, let me go play my 4 songs on Sunday 3 times in a row and
Right.
get my check and go home and not think about it again. It's like
Right.
it's we're not doing it for anyone else than God. If you start thinking about that, then that's when you need to kind of like, hey, let me take a step back, let me
Yes.
reprioritize everything, all that world.
Yeah. Well, obviously I'm in, Nashville area, so there's a lot of music here. But when I first moved here and I just kind of was getting involved in it, I did a lot of free stuff at the beginning, and that was just to, you know, just more because but what's funny is even after, so I did toured with kind of Beatles thing and did that for 10 years. And even after doing all of that, there's still times now where I do free gigs for
Hmm.
people. And it's just because I love playing the music. I love their music. And for me personally, I'm blessed that I have a Monday through Friday
Hmm.
situation that pays my bills. So the music is kind of like my way of, scratching my music
Right.
itch. So I am kind of able to do that now on the back end where before, hadn't moved up kind of in the company that I'm in now. So totally in that same kind of vein as you there though. So I love that. Uh Now we come to the segment. It's one of my favorites that I started. Is called Rapid Fire.
All
I already
right.
it's funny because it's like right out the gate. I'm like, should I even ask the first question? Because it's like we know what the answer is going to be, right? Anyway, rapid fire has been a lot of fun. It's not really rapid fire, like because sometimes we talk in between. But anyway, right out the gate, here we go. Flats or rounds?
Rounds.
And what's your go to? Is it the NYXLs? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
the D'Addario NYXL. It used to be the Ernie Ball regular Slinkies,
And-
and those sound great, but they sound great for like one day, and then they just fall off so quick. Maybe
Right.
that's just my experience because I love how they
Sure.
sound. Then I heard a demo of the NYXL stuff, and I was like, okay, this sounds like it, or it sounds even better than it, and they actually last longer, so it's great.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I can at least about 2 to 3 months out of mine before but also that's everybody's different, uh, how much oils you produce. All right. Next, P-Bass or jazz bass?
P-Bass all day. I
That was
love
the
I
one
love
that I
my
was
jazz
thinking
stuffs
of.
too, but
Yeah.
Yeah, P-Bass is like tried and true. I wonder if I could look it up somehow. I would argue that's probably the most used bass ever.
Oh,
I mean, it's the
it has
original
to.
bass.
Definitely. Well, and yeah, I mean, that was the very first electric basses. Well, I think there were some before that, but like the first Fender ones were definitely
Right.
that. P-Bass, I've always been a P-Bass guy until as of late I've been playing a jazz a little bit more, but what I find is that I'm really doing is trying to make my jazz bass sound like a P-Bass. So I'm just using the front pickup, only, and which is basically almost sounding like a P-Bass anyway. So
Right.
okay, next, Desert Island pedal.
Probably my Dark Glass DCX because it's
Nice.
like preamp drive in one, and it has a little bit of EQ options too, just like the Noble does. So it's like at this point, definitely my Desert Island.
Nice. Favorite bass player, worship or not?
Favorite bass player. Oh, I feel like that's got to be like a tie of either Snarky Puppy's Michael League or Coldplay's Buddy Guy.
Oh,
I think
nice.
that's his name. Um,
Yeah.
he's just always. I was super. That's a band I forgot to mention earlier. Crazy inspired always by all of their stuff, especially their older stuff. Where like before all the tracks in the world and everything, but like OG Coldplay from like Clocks and anything old like Rush of Blood to the Head or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was some of their best stuff. And that's why I've always been a huge Adam Clayton fan. So, and it's kind of in that Coldplay and U2 are kind of in that same, you
Hmm.
know, kind of feel. Uh, what about your favorite coffee?
My favorite coffee is a White Monster at like 6 in the morning because I'm just trailer trash like that. I
I
I just
love
don't like
that.
coffee. I don't know why. I just have never liked it. It's just not a thing for me. Like energy drinks won't like crack me out or like make me feel all weird and jittery, but coffee will, and I don't understand
That's
why.
interesting. Yeah. That's funny. So then I guess asking you your favorite coffee shop is out.
Yes. Any coffee shop that has like an energy drink, like there is one here in like Fort Worth area called Black Rock, and they make like sugar-free energy drinks, and those are
Nice.
pretty good. So I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
I'll
I
go with
love
my
it.
friends, I'll let them get coffee.
That's my drummer that I play with all the time. He typically has an energy drink and he'll when he's starting to come off of that from the services, I'll like, hey, I'm going back to get some coffee. So I get some, and he'll get like about this much in there, because he's like not a huge fan of coffee, but does it just to get the little bit of
A
caffeine
little
that he needs.
boost.
Yeah. What's some music that you're currently listening to right now?
Currently listening to is a lot of country stuff. Like I love country music. I'm
Nice.
from Southeast Texas, so it's just ingrained in me. If I listen
Yeah.
to like, I'll probably get hate for it. Morgan Wallen's newer stuff. Musically,
Yeah.
I honestly love it. It's less the trap country thing. I mean, I love Zach Top,
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton, like
Yes.
older stuff like Brooks and Dunn,
Mm-hmm.
George Strait. Like I love it all just because it's so easy to listen to and it's much more like storytelling kind of music, especially
Yeah.
with the classic
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And it's just
Yeah.
easier on my ears. Like I'm around music 24/7. So if I'm in my truck or whatever driving around, I'm like, I'm just gonna put that on. Um,
Yeah.
Worship music, I just jump around. Sometimes it's like what I'm having to play, that's what I'm listening to, and then
Mhm.
sometimes older stuff. Like I just got put on the album again. I forgot it existed till like last night on YouTube. Blackout, that album by Stephanie Gretzinger.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like an older one, like definitely way different than like the worship norm, like more kind of indie artist
Mm.
stuff, but really, really cool music on that one. And when I saw it again, I was like, oh my God, I haven't listened to this in like 10 years or something. Like this was
That's
really
a
cool.
Yeah, when I grew up, my mom was a huge Amy Grant and Michael W. Smith and all that. And so, like, we'd be getting ready in the morning, eating our breakfast, and she'd have that on in the kitchen, playing. So, all of those songs are ingrained in my brain
Yeah,
still to this day.
mine was like the same thing. Yeah, she's getting ready, but we have on like the artists, the gospel stuff are like Brooklyn Tabernacle or like Ty Tribbett or something like that. Like
I-
same thing, getting ready and just playing. Like to this day, if I go over to their house and she's like cleaning up or something, she's like blasting that somewhere in the house, just
That's
cleaning
awesome.
away.
I love that. Well, anything final you can think of you want to share? Something?
Oh, I'm trying to think if there's just some like life altering thing I could throw in there. Um, you don't need pedals to sound good on bass. If you need
Nice.
that, then you should reevaluate. And second
I
one is
love
you don't have to play with a pick. That's a hill I will die on forever because I don't play with the pick like most of the time unless it's like a fast song or it's just a song like for that very specific tone you need because
Yeah.
they'll ask like why can I hear like your bass so well, like what pick are you using? I was like, dude, I didn't use a pick on this at all. Like, dog, you just need to change your strings sometimes. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know.
That's what it is. That you put those new strings on, you get some of that brightness back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. That's actually Adam Kaiser. When I had him on a couple episodes ago, he was just like, man, he goes, that is probably the biggest thing I would encourage. He said, look at pedals as the icing on the cake,
Right.
and just like work on, because, that's one of the things, like, with you talking about how you don't use a pick and most of the time you're playing with your fingers. That's why it's so hard for, say, me to get the exact bass, the exact pedals, and sound like you, because let me get it in the, everybody's DNA is, different.
It's different. Yeah.
And so the sound that your finger makes when you pluck that finger is going to be completely different than how mine sounds. It's just, that's part of it. Now, like, I always joked about people that Paul McCartney, all those years he played with a pick. And so I was like, you can get a little closer to that, because with a pick, you're just using a piece of plastic versus, a finger.
Right.
So when you're using a pick, it's a little bit easier to kind of dial that sound in. But when you're, finger playing, because I even, you were talking about Scott earlier, how many times he said, I would play my bass and then somebody else would play it. And I'd be like, how are they getting my bass to sound so good? like when I play it, it just doesn't sound anywhere near that good. So it's just kind of funny how we
It,
are.
yeah, it's
So
just so different.
yeah. So I'm gonna add when I put this up on YouTube, I'm gonna add in the some of your links there for like the stuff that we talked about, the backline resources, uh, your the link to your website, so that way if anybody's interested in patches, they can also find you on Instagram, and it's just Bryce Vaughn, correct?
Or is it the Bryce?
Oh, that's right, the Bryce. So yeah, but I'll put all of those in there so people can kind of, if somehow somebody has been under a rock all this time and doesn't know who you are, then they'll. I'm joking. I know that you don't think of yourself as that way at all, but just saying that I know in the message boards and stuff that I see all the time, people are like, how can I sound like Bryce? So
That's so funny.
I love it. But I also love that every once in a while I see you making a comment on there. I
Oh, I
love that.
love getting like if I'm just in there sometimes or like get bored on Facebook or wherever and I'll see someone in there, I was like, oh, I love responding to it. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, let me just however I
Yeah,
can help, let me jump in.
exactly. And then you can give your opinion among the other 50,000
Right.
right? All right, well, we're at the end here and I just want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. It was cool just getting to hang with you, kind of almost like having I had my coffee, you had your energy drink, and we were hanging out some.
There's two
So
dudes kicking it for bass. Dude, thank you so much
exactly.
for having me on. I love everything you're doing with this and all the people you've been bringing on and like all the different worlds it brings. It's seriously so cool to see. Like when you
Uh,
asked me, I was like, I think I saw all this stuff before we even talked about doing this, and I was just like, oh, that'd be cool to do one day, but like I don't want to bug him to like be on it. Like he's got his own thing going. And then you asked me, I was like, oh, easiest yes ever. Yeah, I'm super down.
Well, what I did was when I first started putting this thing together is I made myself a little, Instagram, not Instagram, but like notes in my app of people that were on my like wish list, and you were definitely on the wish, even the last guy that it just came out, Levon Rushing, he was on my list too, and so I had this big list and I was like, okay, but I've been doing them bi-weekly so I don't like kill myself with all the
Right.
editing, that kind of stuff. I was just like, and trying to work and also still having time for my family. So I was like, I was like, bi-weekly, put them out, and then and so very quickly, all of a sudden, I was like, my bookings, like, okay, I'm already through, because like right now, I'm already booked through January with like people, and so
That's awesome.
like, yeah, so it's been great that I've had good response. Everybody's been super supportive, and so it's just been cool, been a lot of fun. And it just honestly, it was some of the same things that you said. It just came out of a desire of, hey, how can I serve the worship based community in another way and bring something that's not out there. So that's awesome.
Hey,
Cool, man.
love that, dude.
Well, it was really cool to get to meet you, hang out with you, and especially fellow Texan. You know how we are about our great state. So
Yes, sir. Best ever. Well, dude,
exactly.
right after this, I'll send you my number on Instagram. That way, if I'm ever in Nashville or get a trip or
Yeah,
going, we get another hang going, all that.
yeah, definitely. I'd love that. Definitely love to hang with you. And if there's one thing I know is Nashville really well, especially because of the world that I work for a utility company, and
Nice.
so before my very beginnings, I was a meter reader. So like, talk about knowing Nashville streets really well.
Yeah.
I definitely know it all. So I can tell you where to stay and where not to stay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, awesome. I appreciate it.
Dude, anytime.
Hey, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll see you later.
Later. What's up, and welcome back to the Worship Based Coffee Studios. That was a great episode. I seriously loved all of it. not only just getting to know Bryce more, but just to kind of get to hang with him. He is a really funny dude, which is great. I love how he has kind of a old school heart about him. That's kind of neat, just how he likes some of that old school stuff, which is really cool. And I felt like had some really good information for all of us. And so, continuing on our Advent, I wanted to read another scripture here. We are in Luke 2, and starting with verse 8, and it says, "And there were shepherds living out in the field nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. And the angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger.'" Just I wanted to continue on kind of our Advent reading for this, and that was for today's date, which I believe is the December 15th, if I'm remembering, or my old age got in the way of that. But December 15th Advent verse, just wanted to share in this Christmas season, just something simple like that to be focusing on. There's something extremely powerful about those verses in Luke. Even just reading it and just like letting it sink in is it's kind of amazing just to think about that moment. So anyway, continuing with podcast related stuff again, and I'll just continue to ask, please, 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 if you can subscribe to my YouTube page, if you can, share things from the YouTube page to other bassists, that would be great. Same with the Instagram. And again, I'm available if you ever want to reach out and ask me anything about my gear or somebody else's gear or something that you're even thinking about considering using. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Nothing else other than that, just to say that thank you for listening. I'm eternally grateful for everybody out there that has been listening and has really been enjoying it and giving me some positive feedback. That has really been helpful. Again, such a great episode uh, with Bryce. Really enjoyed getting to talk with him, hang with him. Again, super funny and cool guy. And hopefully, if things work out, I'm supposed to be going to Dallas in February to see Colony House, and we have kind of talked about maybe meeting up at that show. So we'll see how that goes, if it works out or not. But anyway, that's all the time we got for today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for listening. And remember, as we always say when we leave, tell someone you love them, and we'll see you next time.